Starting pitching, any pitching, to be able to keep us in a game, but we've talked about it a million times already. Those games are going either way, right? And then the sixth inning tonight was a big inning for us. Really good at bats. Clearly getting Olsen out of there early was a factor in that and going to the bullpen. But those guys have good arms, and our guys put good at bats together, and they did it one right after another. It was really impressive.
How about those Royals, huh?
Yeah, the boys are playing some ball.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Tuesday, May 21st, 2024. Stephen St. John and Todd Leabo, who's broadcasting from home, and Jake Gutierrez here as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Today on the show, we'll talk to former Royals reliever Jamie Bluma in the 7 o'clock hour. We'll also have our friend Jeff Kerr from CBSSports.com talking NFL at 8 o'clock. Matt Moore will talk NBA playoffs with us at 8:30. And then Annie Rogers from MLB.com will talk about the Red Hot Royals with us. Hey, thanks again to the people out at the Team Smile Golf Classic and the National Golf Club in Parkville for having us out there yesterday. It's good to be out there, but also good to be back in studio. So, But always good to be out and about, especially when I can do the show from the Northland. I'm never going to complain about that. And so, in the National in Parkville, beautiful place to do the show. I don't see any breakfast burritos around here, so that's the advantage of being at the National in Parkville. Todd, how are you doing? You had that scratchy, itchy throat yesterday. How are you doing today?
I'm working through it, I'm working through it. I get a little congestion. I'm taking pills, blowing some snot out, all that kind of stuff. But
so you are sick.
It is what it is. I don't know. I got a little cold, little what do you call it? A little springtime cold.
Don't be coming in here then.
It's not wonderful. Well, I'll be coming in there later to breathe on you.
Could be allergy congestion.
Yeah. There's a lot of that for sure. But we soldier through, just like the Royals. You got to play every day. When the game's on the schedule, you go play. When the Tigers come to town, you play. When the Tigers come to town, you beat them. They're like
boys are playing some ball.
Good baseball team. It's like, and I feel a little bit like, remember last week when we were talking about the attendance, and it takes a little while for the city to catch on. I think it was nice this weekend. The city came out for the 2014 celebration and all that stuff, but like 12,000 announced last night.
That was a smaller crowd than I thought for that Friday night when 2014 when they were honoring the team on Friday night. That was a smaller crowd than I anticipated.
Yeah, there ended up being about 25 or something for that. It just takes people a while to get back in the groove of going to baseball games. And I do think there's some issues with, fans and the vote and the whole, there's a lot of things going on this year with the dynamics of baseball in Kansas City. But this team's worth going to watch, and they're fun. And you should probably go watch them sometime. I've actually gone this year as a fan more times than I have in the past, probably 2 or 3 years, because they are fun. And I think the city will catch on a little bit. They keep going like this. I mean, they've got 30 wins now. It's not what it would be a major upset if they didn't get their Vegas total now. What was that, 74 or something like that? You know how bad they'd have to play to not get that done? Oof. Don't even want to bring it up.
Why did you then?
I don't know. Probably shouldn't.
Right. It almost feels like for some fans, for a part of the fan base, that they still love the team, but they're mad at the organization, or there's something.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Yeah.
Right, with what happened with the vote, and also with, I think people are still pissed off about the TV situation, or the no TV
thing,
situation.
You lose track. You don't pay attention, and while that is very small way their fault, because they were partners with Bally's and Diamond or whatever it is. It's not the Royals' fault specifically that company doesn't have an agreement with Comcast or with YouTube TV. But the part about the stadium vote is one thing, but if you look at the things they did before, whatever you liked or didn't like about the stadium vote, they gave Bobby Witt $280 million. They signed Seth Lugo. They signed Michael Waka. They've done some really important things specifically for this year's baseball team to make them good, and they're playing well. Not to say you have to go out there and spend your money to go watch them play. I'm not telling you when to do that, because I know it's expensive. But I do think that if they keep going like this, it should be a pretty crazy summer out there. Because we've talked about this. In 2014, the place wasn't crazy all summer long. There were some games later in the year there weren't that many fans at. And then once it got going, it was pretty crazy. 2015, 16, 17, pretty good fan base out there. But this is a really good baseball team. And they continue to pitch well and get important hits and come through. And, last night, Michael Massey makes a big difference on this team, I think, when he's playing well, and he wasn't with them at the very start of the year. He's a good player, and Salvi just continues to impress. A tough situation last night for, Joey Wentz is a hometown kid, and he gets to come pitch at Kauffman Stadium where he was going to games as a kid. And, the Royals get 5 straight base runners off him, including a bomb into the fountains for Salvi. But there's a couple guys who are local on that Tigers team. At least they're in the bigs, but I'm sure they'd rather be Royals than Tigers, especially this year.
Yep. Right now they would. And you mentioned Michael Massey last night. 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored and a ribby. He hit a home run. He's hitting .284. He's got a .505 slugging percentage, so he is proven to be a nice upgrade at second base. And that's a guy that they think very highly of, and hopefully he's developing into one of the staples in this lineup. But Massey, again, big night last night, was just a triple short of the cycle. Man, I mentioned yesterday, for me, whenever he's in the lineup, he hits. He had 2 more hits last night. He's 2 for 4. He's hitting .288. And that allows Salvi to either DH or play first base and rest those legs. And Salvi 2 for 4 last night with another home run. Hunter Renfroe had a couple of ribbies. Michael Garcia continues to hit well. I think that's an 8-game hitting streak for Garcia, as he was 1 for 4 with another ribby, and so the production was spread out very nicely throughout the lineup. But look, it helps that Michael Massey's hitting very well. It helps that Michael Garcia has been hot. They're still looking for more consistent production from the outfield. When Salvi DHs, he produces, and like I said, Fermin able to be a good offensive catcher whenever he's in the lineup. That allows Salvi to move into that DH spot, and so that changes the lineup a little bit. And Salvi, no matter where he is, what position he's playing, or whether he's DH or first base or catcher this year, he's always producing. Last night, after going 2 for 4, he's hitting .341 with a .404 on base and a .565 slug. He's having a fantastic year. You mentioned Michael Waka, one of the free agents who went out and signed. He goes 7 strong innings and only gives up 2 runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, 6 hits on the night. Gave up a home run, but only 89 pitches to get through his 7 innings. And that's win number 4 for him, and his ERA drops to 4.45. So he's pitching very well.
Waka, waka.
Yeah. Tyler Duffy did not look good coming out of the bullpen. He walked 3 guys, but then Stratton came in and cleaned up the mess and actually got a save for his efforts. But Royals win 8-3 over the Detroit Tigers, moving to 30-19 on the season. But just like the Royals won't stop winning, Cleveland won't stop winning. They also won their fourth in a row. So the Royals and the Guardians have both won 4 in a row. Both are 7-3 in their last 10 games. And so Cleveland 31-17, a game and a half still ahead of the Royals. That's fine. The Guardians unable to create any distance, any distance between them and the Royals. The Twins, they continue to lose. They have lost 7 in a row. They're 2-8 in their last 10, and so they're falling back. They're 6.5 now, 6.5 games behind Cleveland. They are 24-23, so they're 6.5 back. And then after the loss last night, the Tigers are 7.5 back, and so even more distance between the Royals and third place as this slowly develops into a 2-team race. I'm not going to declare the Twins dead. That's too early. We're too early, and it's May. But the Twins have been very inconsistent. They started off poorly, then they got red hot. Now they are ice cold again, losers of 7 in a row. And so maybe this will just be Cleveland and Kansas City battling for first place. But you got to give credit to Cleveland. They've got the Royals right on their ass, but they will not give in. And they have been able to match the Royals win for win the past 4 games. And right now, when you peek at the wild card standings as well, there's a little bit of distance there, people. Baltimore right now has the number 1 wild card spot at 29-16. And then right behind them, the Royals have the number 2 wild card spot. And then after that, and this is interesting because even though the Twins have dropped 7 in a row, they're still tied for that last wild card spot, which shows no one else has really stepped up. But also, it shows that the Royals have a little bit of a cushion there right now because the Twins are 5 games back. The Twins and the Rays 5 games back of the number 2 spot in the wild card race. And so the Royals have a 5-game cushion for the second wild card spot.
Yeah, it's
that's
there's
crazy.
A whole bunch of teams right there, sitting around that 500 area. So they're all in this little pot, and the Royals they're 11 games over 500 now. I thought they would be better this year, but I did not think they would have a record like this as we neared the middle to end of May.
Nobody.
I don't know. I can't even imagine they thought this way. Maybe some of these tomatoes are becoming tomatoes, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, they're tomatoes.
I don't know if they're quite there yet, but they're.
I think
I'm not
some
screaming
of
at the
them that
plants.
No.
I think Bobby Witt's a tomato.
There
for
you
sure.
go. I think he is too. And it's
But,
crazy. You go to the fan graphs and all these other statistical probabilities. I mean, one place on fan graphs has a 52% playoff probability. Another place 67% for the wild card. I mean, look, they're just projections. But
and we joked about it yesterday, and this is the last day we can have this insane record talk. But last year, I mentioned that they were 29-75 at one point. They won the next game, so they were 30-75. So 30-75, 30-19, and then they win 5 games in a row last year. So it ended up being 31-75, 32, whatever, da da da. But they were 30-75 last year. In the 30-19, it's insane how much better they have started this year than they did last year. And they got to keep it going, though. And I think they've got a great attitude. I mean, listen, Matt Gutierrez wasn't he was so even-keeled last year throughout this. And I know he's maybe not the most exciting guy, but I don't think you need the most exciting guy, in charge of this. I don't care if he gives you great sound bites. If he knows how to get Salvi to get the right rest, to have him batting 340, to DH one day and catch one day and get the most out of Michael Massey coming to the bigs and work this pitching staff because, they don't have HDH in that bullpen, and they're finding a way to get enough out of the bullpen to win these games. So I like their leadership. I like whatever data they're using to kind of put the lineups together and to get the most out of Salvi. This group, I was really, really, really impressed with them when Seren and I went down to spring training last year. We first met them, right? And I'm like, God, these guys really seem to know what they're doing. And then, they were 30-75. I'm like, I don't know, man. But I think they just needed to get some better players, and they certainly have better players now. And we'll see. Chris Bubich will be back up here eventually. He's throwing well in his rehab stuff because he was hurt last year and couldn't pitch and looked like he might be bringing to a major league pitcher. So everything's easier when you have starting pitching, right? We know that much. Or if you have HDH at the back of the bullpen, that pitching makes the game a little bit easier. And they've gotten really good starting pitching. And you can't have enough of it because I don't know how long it's going to last. Alec Marsh is going to throw. He had to miss a couple weeks because he got hit with a ball. You don't know when someone's going to get a little tightness here or there or get injured. Last night, the kid for Detroit, oh my gosh, that was kind of scary. The line drive that he took off of his hip. You're just one little swing away from something bad happening and messing up your season. So they're going to have more guys ready to pitch. There's no question about that. But I think these guys do know what they're doing. And I think, more importantly, the guys believe it. The boys who are playing some ball, I think they believe in this leadership group. And that's pretty powerful when they're all on the same page.
Yeah, the boys are playing some ball.
Bubich, as you mentioned, is pitching well in his rehab assignment. Also, you can keep your eyes on Daniel Lynch, who looked good when he had the opportunity to pitch up here in the majors when Marsh was out. But Daniel Lynch is a guy that provides hopefully quality depth. And his last start down in the minors, he was really good. He pitched 6 2/3 innings and only gave up 3 hits, no earned runs, and 6 strikeouts. And he did that on May 19th. And so maybe Lynch and Bubich can provide either quality depth for when you have any type of injuries or anything with the major league staff, or they can provide some trade bait if you decide you want to go out and get a veteran bullpen arm or try to improve the offensive production in the outfield. And look, you said that maybe he doesn't provide exciting sound bites. Who cares? I mean, you worry about that when your team sucks. You know what's exciting? Winning. You know it's an exciting soundbite? Talking about beating the Detroit Tigers. That's exciting. When you're searching for, hey, can the manager be more exciting? That means you're also searching for wins because you're focused on the wrong things. I don't care. He could be as boring as he wants as long as his baseball team wins, and then he's still exciting. So
no doubt. I mean, they have it figured out. I mean, pretty much. I think it is a different approach. I mean, I love Ned. Ned managed with what it feel, I guess, more. He wasn't a big on the new age of baseball, and I think he maybe would have adapted a little bit, but maybe didn't. And it seemed that Mike Matheny forced himself to adapt. Remember when before he had taken a job, he'd gone off to basically a little summer course for analytics in baseball, and was getting into it, but you felt it was a little bit apprehensive on his part. These guys are, they're into it. They're into how you pitch, how you manage the staff, what you do, how you set your lineup. They're into all of the new stuff. And I think that's important today. You have to be into that stuff. And I think, again, say what you want about ownership and save the stadiums and whatever, all that stuff. They convinced Bobby Witt, who has a chance to be a generational player, to sign a long-term, nearly $300 million contract with this organization, right? And they gave Seth Lugo money and an extra year when others wouldn't. And they paid Michael Wacha, and they're attracting some people, and you have to. They're not cheap, man. These guys they're spinning the dough, and they put it all out there. And was part of the reason they did that to try to get you to vote yes? Maybe so. Doesn't matter now. Forget about that. You love the K. You didn't want a new stadium. Go out there and watch them, man, because they're fun.
Todd Leabo is also fun. The Royals win again. Winners of 4 in a row now. They take care of business against the Detroit Tigers last night out at Kauffman Stadium. Really nice pitching performance from Michael Wacha and good hitting up and down the lineup. The recipe for success for the Royals, 8-3 over the Detroit Tigers. We'll take a break. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Let's hear some sound from last night after the Royals beat the Tigers 8-3. Let's first hear from Salvador Perez, the Royals' hot-hitting catcher, who here talks about his 10-pitch at-bat that ended up with Salvi going deep. A big home run for Salvador Perez, who continues to be unbelievable this season. Here's Salvi on his at-bat that led to the home run.
That's amazing. Do that to, again, the great team like Detroit, great starting pitches too. So it's pretty good if we can score in the first couple of innings and give our pitch a little bit of chance to win the game.
Go ahead, Michael Massey continues to swing a hot bat. How important is that to kind of have that behind you in the line?
Pretty good. Massey worked really hard, and now that he's behind me, so it's even better. I think it's pretty good the way he's hitting right now. So I think good for him and for us too.
I wondered if you could just describe that 10-pitch at-bat leading to the home run falling off.
I faced him a line in the past. He was a starting pitcher before. Just started doing my job. I was late, I think, 3-1. I don't think he's going to throw me fast, went 3-1. So after that, I just tried to make adjustment, and he leave a pitch around the middle, and I hit it pretty good.
I feel like that gave you guys some momentum just to continue on?
Yeah, 100%, as soon as, first guy get on, it's kind of like, okay, let's go. We can score some run in this inning. So I'm just doing a pretty good job tonight, too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was Salvador Perez after the game. You heard him talking about Michael Massey hitting very well, swinging a hot bat. And Salvi says it's good for Massey and good for the Royals, too. Michael Massey last night, 3 for 4 with a single, a double, and a home run, a triple short of the cycle. He's 8 for 14 in his last 4 games, and that includes a couple of doubles and a couple of home runs. Here's Michael Massey after the game.
Michael Massey, all he needed was a triple to hit for the cycle tonight.
Yeah, I could ask him about that in a minute because his good friend Vinny had a triple yesterday. We'll get there in a moment. What a night for you, the offense, the pitching, the Royals once again. Just want to talk about that. This team's ability to just grind, and suddenly the floodgates open. What is it about this group?
Yeah, we're getting unbelievable starting pitching. Tonight from Walk and, through Reagan, Singh, Lugo, all throughout Marshy. So making our job easy as an offense. We just got to scratch a few across and let the bullpen close it out.
Reese Olson has been unbelievable this year. Had not allowed a home run since last season. I know you're not going up there thinking home run. How were you able to get to him?
I think we're going to get a double one here, Joel. Watch it.
That's not fair. A lot of ice, and MJ just keeps wanting to add more. By the way, that's the most courteous response ever to give me a warning on that one. Reese Olson, he's tough. How are you able to go deep?
He's a great pitcher. Just try to find a pitch up in the zone and put a good swing on it.
And then the line, as hitters, you're just always looking to go up the middle. I don't even know that you realize right away that hits him. It's not anything you want to see, but suddenly things get going there. Tell me what you saw on that play.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay. Just got him in a bad spot, and hopefully he'll recover from it. But, honestly, just part of the game, and hopefully he's doing all right.
All right, we always talk to in the cycle. It's a triple. Your buddy Vinny, I'm sure, is going to wear you out that he had the triple and you did not. Were you thinking at all about cycle?
No, Bob mentioned it to me in the 6th inning, and I didn't even realize it. So just trying to stay with my approach, and I'll take the heat from Vinny in there.
And well-deserved the win, most importantly. Great job. We'll see you back tomorrow.
Thanks, Joel. Appreciate it.
All right, Michael Massey, what a night.
It was a great night for Michael Massey, but you heard him talk about the rotation. And that's the biggest reason why this team is different than last year. If you look at last year, and it's hard to because it's not good. You look at what the rotation was. If you go to Baseball Reference, and they just have every starting pitcher that started a game which was lengthy, 32 different starting pitchers. Jordan Lyles had 31 starts. He had a 6.28 ERA. Brady Singer had 29 starts. He had a 5.52 ERA. Zach Greinke had 27 starts. He had a 5.06 ERA. So you had three guys with at least 27 starts that had ERAs in the 5s and 6s. Cole Reagans had his 12 starts, 2.64 ERA. He was terrific, but that was only 12 starts. Other guys that started good amounts of games, Daniel Lynch had 9 starts with a 4.64. Ryan Yarbrough, 7 starts with a 4.24. Brad Keller, 9 starts with a 4.57. It's Alec Marsh had 8 starts. He had a 5.69 ERA.
Yeah, something's worked for him this year.
Well, for him and for Singer. I mean, look.
Well, Singer had showed it at points in his career, right? He's a yo-yo if you look at him by year.
But I credit the staff.
But, listen, like they last year, they were going out there trying to give $17 million for 2 years to Jordan Lyles to come pitch for him. That's what they could get. And, this year, they're like, well, we need to up the ante. So now it's like not just $17 million for 2 years. It's like we're giving you $45 million for 3 years for Seth Lugo. They upped the ante. They said this isn't going to work. Because if that's what you're paying, you're going to get what you're going to pay for. Now, sometimes you can spend money and it doesn't work. We've seen that happen plenty of times. But so far this year, the money they've spent has really paid off. There's no one you're like, wow, what'd they give this guy money for? It's been good. I did like the way he went through those names. He called Walk, right? Walk, Sing, Marshy.
Right.
You get the little nicknames on those guys. I don't think if I was Walk, I'd want to be called Walk.
Sometimes it would be easier just to call him by his name, but they don't do that in baseball.
No.
But when you look at the starting pitching this year, Lugo, Singer, Waka, and Reagans all have 10 starts. Lugo's 7-1 with a 179. Singer's 4-2 with a 270. Reagans is 3-3 with a 370. Waka 4-4 with a 445. He would have been the number 2 starting pitcher
ace
on the behind Reagans last year in the rotation.
Well, you remember the Reagans trade was a great trade.
Sure, it was.
That was for Chapman, right?
Right, Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, I mean, so those were the kind of moves they were trying to make last year. Go give Aroldis Chapman some money, and you hope he's okay, and you can trade him. So it took 2 steps. You had to get him in, and then he had to be okay, and you had to make a good trade. And that looks to be a great trade right now. So that's pretty cool. But now, you take the middleman out. Just go sign Seth Lugo. There you go. Or you've already got Brady Singer. Get the best out of him. Or Alec Marsh.
This team has to do both, though. You're never going to be able to outspend enough to be able to build your rotation simply through free agency.
Yes.
You're going to be but also look, Alec Marsh is homegrown. Brady Singer's homegrown. We talk about free agency. There's 2 starting pitchers that are homegrown. Alec Marsh is 3-1 with a 2.43 ERA. So you have 2 free agents, you have 2 homegrown starting pitchers, and then you have a guy you made a great trade for. That's how you have to do it. It can't be just one way.
No, and then you just hope that
it can't be just one way, Todd. Quit saying that.
But maybe Bubic or Lynch you can get something out of them. They tried let's draft 4 college guys, and so far it was very mixed reviews. That's been a long time ago that they drafted those guys. Time has flown so much in the past 5 years. I mean, Brady Singer's been on this major league roster for 5 seasons now. Put that in your head and figure it out.
That's
it
a different
like
regime, though, too.
Long.
That's a different. I mean, we have to start separating these regimes.
Yeah, and they are separated. And JJ was part of it, but there is a separation there. But it's not like the separation in the coaching staffs, because that one's stark. That's a big switch.
The Royals did tinker with their bullpen yesterday. Matt Sauer was designated for assignment, and they select Sam Long, left-hander from Omaha, veteran. And so Long almost made the team out of spring training, 28 years old. He signed a minor league deal with the Royals this offseason. He had a really good spring, and he's been pitching well down in Omaha. He spent 2 seasons out of baseball getting his EMT certification. And
okay.
but now In Omaha, he's had a 1.31 ERA over 20 and 2/3 innings with 23 strikeouts and just 5 walks. And so he comes up and replaces Sauer, the 25-year-old, who was the Royals' Rule 5 pick from the Yankees. And so the Royals, they're just too good to waste a spot on a Rule 5 guy who's not ready to go. He's allowed 14 runs and 16 in the 3rd innings, and there's just not enough spots where they can put him out there and not be affected by his inability to get people out. And so, look, the Royals need every available spot on that roster, especially in that bullpen. All arms need to be able to come in and help this baseball team, and they're not in a position to, I don't want to say waste a spot, but waste a spot on a Rule 5 guy who can't help you in any high leverage situations. And so, because he's a Rule 5 pick, doesn't have any minor league options, he had to be DFA'd to be taken off the 26-man roster. And so now here's what happens with him if they like him enough. They have up to 4 days to work out a trade with another team, which would have to carry Sauer on the 26-man roster all season because of his Rule 5 status, or they place him on waivers. If he clears waivers, the Royals have to offer Sauer back to the Yankees, who could place him back in their minor league system for $50,000, or the Royals and the Yankees could work out a trade for the Royals to keep him in their organization. Gutierrez said they think highly of him. They think he's going to be a big league pitcher for a long time, but right now, the way the team's constructed and the way he's performed, there's not a spot for him. And so going into the season, you didn't know that the Royals were going to be this competitive and this good. So, hey, they like this arm. They think he can develop into a good reliever. Use a spot for him all season long and try to just to carry him through the season as a Rule 5 guy. Now you find out, no, we need every possible bullpen arm. That's right. The blank got real. And so now, and that's a great sign.
Yeah.
That's a great sign that the Royals think, you know what? No, we need a guy that can actually help us. And so that's what they did.
Yeah, the Rule 5 thing works out fine that way. It's a risk. It's a $50,000 risk, right? That's all it is. So if it turns out you're pretty good, well, all right, we just give him back. Or maybe there's a way to work it out and they make a trade for him or whatever. But it's worth the risk. But, I mean, things have changed. Things have absolutely changed for this organization. And if he had pitched better, we wouldn't be talking about this. But now it's too important now. There's no time for development here. They are competing. And you told me yesterday that, what'd you say, June 11th or June 20th? What was the date you
June
gave me?
11th is
June 11th.
right.
It stops being early.
Right.
But it's getting close to June 11th, so no time for this. They got to get after it. And all these games they're all going to matter. And they need everybody at all times. And that's where you mentioned before, man. If it's Daniel Lynch or someone like that who maybe you thought was going to be a starter, if he's got to come up and do some relief or anything, they got to be looking all over the place to keep this team doing what it's doing. Absolutely have to.
That's right. You doing all right? I'm worried about you.
Don't worry about me.
You sure?
I'll be there.
And hacking up stuff and everything else. Does he sound okay, Jake?
He sound better, but are you doing something?
Are you scratching yourself?
Scratching yourself? Stop
I
moving his
scratched my
hands.
knees right there. Could you?
Yeah,
you
hear that?
Oh, okay.
That's a good microphone. I was hoping it wasn't something else. 'Cause you're getting into it
stop
there.
Stop touching yourself.
Yeah.
My knees.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious.
What do you guys do in the 6 o'clock hour? We listen to Leabo scratch himself.
He's got itchy and scratchy over there.
It's not bad. I'm just was wondering,
Thank you, AirPods.
Yeah. Is that what you're
Pick it
using?
all up.
Was that what you're using?
I have the AirPods on today. I can't find my wired headphones.
It's bad. The EMFs.
Jake says those are bad for you.
They are. Those are bad.
Why?
Well, of course they are.
Why are they bad for you?
EMFs, the electrical magnetic field that they give off so close to your brain. It's bad for you.
Now how do you feel?
Radiation is what it's called.
Yeah. As Jake sits there with his hands on all these buttons.
Right.
In that room full of all of
Yeah,
it.
this is all wired, though. It's all
You don't think you're getting some of that in there?
Yeah, but I protect myself.
How?
Just different
with his
ways.
yellow glasses.
That's right. That's
Dude
right.
had to take his yellow glasses off yesterday. He was so off his vibro.
I feel so much better today.
So you got the power turned back on.
Power's back on.
What else was working against you yesterday? I wasn't here.
There was a tornado that actually touched down.
2 of them.
Yeah, and it went right over my house.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Was there like
Survivor.
any warning or sirens or anything or
nothing?
What happened?
My
with that,
power
I
went
wonder?
out, and then it's like it got creepy. I mean, it got loud and weird, and I mean, like I said yesterday, driving in, there was damage all over my neighborhood. I mean, trees uprooted and like crushing roofs, cars being smashed. I mean, it's scary. Like our neighbor's tree was split in half.
So there were no sirens or anything. You had no idea what was going on.
No sirens. So I think it was a microburst, and it's like it's crazy, but
No, Lezak was tweeting about it last night.
yeah, it was. I mean, that was right.
Would have been nice 2 nights ago.
Right behind my
Right.
house. Right.
So the National Weather Service completed surveys near Mill Valley High School, and also Prairie Village, North Prairie Village to Mission Hills, and that's when they ruled. I don't know how they judge it as two.
Yeah, I don't think anyone saw a funnel. They just they get they look
EF1
at the
tornadoes.
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look at the damage and they can tell the miles per hour, and that's when so it wasn't like a sighted tornado,
Like touchdown.
funnel cloud.
It was
It wasn't radar indicated either. I don't think. I don't know.
It's probably why there were no sirens, but scary times. But I feel so
That
much
is
better
scary.
today.
So what else was working against you? You didn't have.
Had no power.
Yeah.
Couldn't have
No
coffee.
ice bath.
No ice bath.
No jog.
No jog.
I wasn't there to settle you, and we were having
Yes.
issues with me staying on.
I think
on the air.
that compounded my dis-ease.
Yeah.
Struggling.
Got through it though, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And it's so much better when you're in studio. I know you like being out among the people, but it grounds me.
Well, I don't have to wonder if I'm on the air. There was one point where I had like a 10-minute conversation with Mark Borichter about playing 3 games in 10 days in December, and nobody heard it but me and Mark Borichter.
Yeah. Leabo
Yeah,
and
it
I,
wasn't 10 minutes, but it was something.
It was long enough.
Leabo and I were talking about Fanatics and Marvin Harrison Jr., where you guys were talking about the scheduling.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, Hey, but at least you got to see the people. That's a good golf tournament. Did
No,
you
it was
go
a
out there
lot.
and swing it?
It was a lot of fun. No, no, I
Got
didn't.
bad shoulders, bro.
No.
How'd that shot work
go?
out? You
How'd
good?
the shot go?
So, yeah, I mean, it went well. Look, Dr. Key's the best,
He is.
but he does it in a way where he's got the cold spray while he's putting the needle in, and
You told me via text on Friday that it hurt when he did it.
Oh, it's not hurt. It's just like I don't know what's the.
It's not a feeling.
It's
you
an
want.
uncomfortable feeling. I mean, it's a needle going into your joint. I don't know.
I don't think it'd
I
be
don't know
weird
how-
if you're like, this feels really
Right,
good.
right. But he does it in a way. I mean, he does a bunch of these, right? And so
Is he gentle?
yeah, and he's talking to me.
Distracting
You know, yeah, right. It's like a cat with some yarn. Hold it over here and distract me, so
Give you a little
he can put a
catnip.
needle on my shoulder.
Little catnip here.
Yeah, and like it takes like 2 days for it to really settle in, and so the first couple of days, it's actually almost feels a little bit worse, But then I think Sunday, I was like, oh, okay, all right, and like today it feels a lot better. So yeah, thanks.
You gonna go get
thanks
a
for
lift?
asking.
You gonna get a lift in?
No, but like now in the next couple of days, I'm gonna start doing some more things. I'm gonna start
Rehab
doing
stuff?
He gave me a packet
Stretches.
of different stretches and different exercises I can do to build up the muscles around it,
Yeah.
and also I can start doing push-ups again.
Yeah.
So I like
I'd
doing,
like you to bring
versus-
that packet in so we could go over it and
Really?
I'd
hold
like
you
to do
accountable.
some.
I've got it in the
Yeah.
car.
It can't be bad for. I mean, it should be good for all of us.
No,
Should be good for everyone.
it's something that everyone should
yeah.
do.
As we get older, our muscle decreases.
But like before I get the shot, it's too painful to do any of these things, and
Right.
that's one of the good reasons. One of the good things about the shot. Now I'll be able to
Start doing some
do all this
push-ups in the
stuff.
break.
Yes,
I'll be down.
yes, absolutely. We will. Let me do those now. Take a break. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you so much for joining us. You want to play one more clip? You don't want to hear from Gutierrez. You think he's too boring, don't you?
We can play.
No.
We can play it in the next hour. It's a little bit longer.
It's not boring.
That's what you said.
No, I said some people might think that. I think he's excellent, but he is very consistent in what he says.
It's a great.
You know, if they win a game or lose a game, after the game, you ask him, well, you know, tomorrow we're going to come back and try to do it again. I mean, that's just the way you have to live your life in that field. It's the right way to do it, but it doesn't make for crazy sound bites, which, as you said, are unimportant if you're winning baseball games.
Do you believe this team will make the playoffs?
Talk to me on June 11th.
No. I'm asking you right now, do you believe this team will make the playoffs?
I'm starting to feel that way, yeah. And I know this. I think this team will make moves, too. I mean, I absolutely think that they will make moves to get better. And like if they feel like they need to get a piece. Now, what they don't have is a lot of collateral or something to go out and make some big move. I mean, the farm system's not loaded with some sort of talent that's going to maybe bring him someone. But I think they make smart moves, you know? I think they'll be really bright about what they can do. And I don't think anyone last year thought, trading Aroldis Chapman for Cole Reagans was going to be a guy who's going to win how many games for him now in a year. So they've been pretty smart about some things. But I think they will definitely go for it, for sure.
Yeah, they don't need to make any huge moves. I think they need to add a bullpen arm. The big question is going to be what they do with the outfield, whether it's at some point calling up Drew Waters,
Yes.
whether someone in-house that's not producing right now, whether it's Renfroe or Melendez, turns things around.
Yeah, if they turn into tomatoes.
Right. Well, Renfroe has been a tomato, but, you know, is he still – what's his shelf life, right?
Yeah.
Melendez has yet to turn into
rotten?
a tomato. Right.
No, he hasn't.
Right. So,
MJ, for the first week of the year, I thought, wow, he's turning into a tomato.
no.
And those splits are insane on the home and the road with him. It's crazy how much different he is at home and the road with his numbers. And the numbers at home aren't great, but they're way better than they are on the road. But, yeah, he's not quite a tomato yet. Hopefully Michael Massey's turned into a tomato, and Michael Garcia and, you know, Bobby Witt. I mean, that's enough to kind of do some things. But they need something in the outfield. You're right.
No, the infield's excellent. Catcher's taken care of. First, second, short, third, not a problem. They just have to focus on getting more production from the outfield and maybe adding a bullpen arm or two. And hopefully, you know, if you're an optimist, either Renfroe or Melendez will turn things around to the point where you don't have to replace them, and then maybe Drew Waters can come up and be another in-house replacement. And so then you're only talking about maybe having to go out and get one guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but they will. I think they'll
Right.
go for it and they'll do it. I mean, they want to. They're serious about this. I mean, I think the ownership group wants to go win for sure. Because as we mentioned before, that vote's over, but that doesn't mean the stadium issues are over. They need to continue to put the effort out and win, no matter where they're going to be playing baseball in 2031.
So you say yes, I'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, you make me say it, I'll say yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, Jake, are you fully on the bandwagon right now, or do you have any reservations?
I'm
I got
67%
reservations.
in.
What are your reservations, Todd?
What we just talked about, I'm still scared. But the wild card makes it, you know, it's
Right.
easier to make the playoffs.
I'm not asking you if they're winning the
Hang on to
division.
the
I'm
wild
asking you
card.
if they're making the playoffs.
You told me you put me down, and I said yes. Write it down yes today.
Hesitantly.
All right. Well, yeah. That's what I'm asking you right now.
What's your answer?
Oh, it's too early. I'm not going to answer that.
Oh, my God.
Don't put me on the record like that.
Yeah,
That's
why would you
stupid.
do that?
No, why would I do that? Then you look back. Come on now.
Christmas.
What's wrong with you? Come on. I'm not going to fall for that. The old banana in the tailpipe. Come on,
Hang on,
Todd.
follow the nail in the tailpipe.
Come on, Todd. You
I'm
coming
gonna
in
scratch
here?
my knees.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm going to scratch my knees for a while.
Well,
I'll
get
be
yourself some broth and come in here and, you know, get healthy, okay?
All right, buddy.
That's Todd Leabo. We got Jamie Bluma next, right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.